Hi there, my name is Zach. I'm going to submit a video for the Thought Leadership Project, um, and hopefully I can keep it about 5 minutes. Excuse me if I go a little bit longer. This is something that I really enjoy, so I can talk for quite a bit. Um, in the first section about leadership theory for community, which is like lead small. It's always best, and big companies have also identified this, that when you have a large group of people, the best way to lead them is through smaller groups. So, like at my company right now, we have these things called homerooms. This is really popular. There's a lot of companies that do this. So what they do is they take the base of the employees and they kind of split them among all the leaders that are there. So same concept with small groups at church. It's not something that is just strictly for the church, but businesses also do this. So out of our 70 some cast members that we have, I have a portion of them, and the other couple leaders that we have that mainly work at that location, we have kind of split the cast members, and those are the cast members that we can focus on. Sometimes and we change our homerooms sometimes. So I know this isn't a practice that we've talked about with the church, but for business, that's something that they do, is they'll switch their leaders out. So sometimes it's random draw, sometimes it's based off of days off, sometimes it's based off of like preferences with the company. So there's a lot of things that go into it as far as businesses go. But I also believe that for business, that's good because you're doing a sustained thing for years and a long time. Whereas in church, you are kind of growing together. So it's always going to be kind of different. So keeping the one thing consistent would be really good. In business, the one thing consistent is your job. But the one thing that would change would be your homeroom leader. But in church, everything is always changing. So the one thing that can be consistent would be your small group leader. The next section talks about define leadership approaches tailored towards the student's particular observation ministries, departmental staff. So with the staff that we have, which isn't very much because we're in children's ministry, so we have the director, and then we have two leaders. So it's me and then another person that we lead together. So we're the ones that are mainly in the room. So anytime there's any direction or anything, it'll come from one of us. So as far as the content, that is what I'm kind of in charge of. So I'll make sure that we have the content, we have everything that we need to deliver the message. So I'll be the one that picks. Sometimes we'll change who's delivering the message. Most of the time I'll do it, but then there'll be times where somebody else wants an opportunity to grow, so we'll let them do it. The other leader, they focus on some of the games, the worship, and mainly the events. That person will take head on. Since adding events to my schedule can make it kind of crazy, I try to stay away from that. But there are times where I have to jump in events, and I can help, and I'm very happy to do that. But I would prefer to stick just to planning for the day in, day out of our ministry. As far as leadership approaches go to it, the way that we've kind of done it is to segment kind of what we're doing so that we can focus really on what's important for us, and we kind of go off of our passion. So the leader, she's really, really, really focused on events and creating something new and exciting, whereas for me, I want to make sure that experience that we give them while they're here with us for that 1 hour a week, I want to make sure that experience is excellent and nothing but excellent. So I'm really focused on how every piece ties together. The transitions are extremely important to me. I make sure that when we transition, we're not losing anybody. But that's all just piece of the production that we're putting on. And we can't just rely solely on that. So me and the other leader, we really focus on making sure we can connect with our students and connect with our parents. Let me see where I'm at. I'm almost at 5 minutes, and I'm on to section 3 now. Okay. For small group leaders and volunteers. So with the small group leaders and volunteers, as I've shared, our small groups are in development. So right now we don't have a very defined small group leader staff. So right now we have our middle high schoolers and some college leaders that will come in and lead the small groups. They're not really tailoring anything towards their group, and sometimes their group changes. And this is definitely not what we want. So I speak with my ministry mentor a lot about how to first obtain and then retain older small group leaders, because we've had some older small group leaders in the past, and they felt like they weren't really needed except for small groups, which is kind of true a bit, because our operation kind of runs itself. Once they're in there, they're kind of immersed in the experience. So basically, everyone would be just standing around until small groups. So we thought about creative ways to include some older adults to make them feel valued and important, while also being able to be there for what we really need, and which is small groups. So with the small groups, they're provided all the resources and entire basically curriculum, and they can just go point by point or step by step, however you want to say it, as to what they do. So they get there, they greet, there's an intro, right after that there's a quick game. After that, then you have the story and the message is kind of wrapped together. And then after that, you're going to have like reflection. And then after that, they're going to do some sort of drawing, activity, building something. They're going to do something as a group together, or they're going to do something that they can take home. And that'll change every week based off of what the lesson is, based off what the activity is. And then quickly on to the last one, as I am approaching 6.5 minutes. So as far as the parents go, this is something that we've kind of struggled with in the past, and the last few classes I've actually taken have really highlighted how much we're missing this point, and it's something that's been a big topic of discussion, is how are we capturing our parents? So we're not doing a great job of capturing our parents right now. Piece of that is, I believe, towards our younger ministry leadership. So I'm only 25. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. And same thing with the other leader. She is, I want to say 20-ish, something. And she also is not married and does not have kids. And then our director is not married and she does not have kids, and she is in her 40s. So we don't really have families that are leading our children's ministry. So it's kind of difficult to connect with parents, because while we have a lot of things in common, the one thing that we're trying to better in their life is something that we don't have in common. So it's really interesting to think about that, but it's what we're passionate about. So we're not going to let that stop us. We've had different challenges as far as doing events, calling people out to the church. I know one of my last classes talked about just the demand that we have to get people into the church. So like they'll come on Sundays, but then we essentially tell them, hey, Sunday's not enough. You need to keep coming every day of the week. So we're like, we got to come for this group, this group, this group, this group, this group, this event, and this event. And it takes up a lot of their time, and people are unengaged because they have to take away from extracurricular activities, their work, and just leisure time. People want family and time to just chill. So we can't just expect people to be there every day. So we've talked about how to incorporate getting parents involved while not necessarily taking up more of their time. So we've tried brainstorming kind of different ideas of how to keep people connected either through emails, which we found never works, or social media, which kind of works sometimes. But we're just trying to find the right way for our church to be able to connect with our parents. I'm so sorry for going a little over 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes, but thank you very much.